Hey guys, good morning. It's my Sunday, September 23rd morning video, I believe, even though it's pretty late for me. It's probably 10 o'clock or so. I'm trying to see if there's a time. 10:40 here in New Mexico. So really a lot to talk about today. And I could probably do multiple videos, but I might space them out during the day. And one, I'm still trying to get my hands around exactly how much or how I want to relate some things. But so I would like to talk about some people that have been important to me on the journey, and again, as important as they've been to me, as important to the family. Even though you might not have met these folks personally, I hope you've met them through me a little bit. So on a very sad note, Margie Jacobs, who was back in Van Wert, Ohio, and has become just almost like a soul sister to me. Having a tough go of it. I meant to tell you guys earlier, her aunt, who had been sick for a few weeks, had a stroke, unfortunately passed away late last week, Thursday maybe, somewhere around there. So certainly heartfelt condolences on behalf of myself, my family, and the PTT family to Margie, and we're thinking about her and praying for her. Conversely, some very good news is my friend Chief, back from St. James, Missouri, who's battled many things in his lifetime. I believe, I didn't speak to him about it, I believe I saw one of his posts, but he went back for a follow-up and is now cancer-free, which is an amazing thing. So Chief, we love you, congratulations, bud. As well as somebody you might not have met a whole lot yet, but a dear family friend, a personal family friend, Andrea. Her daughter, they used to be next door neighbors of mine. Her daughter, my kids adore. She spends nights in my home, sweetheart. And her brother, well, their mom, Andrea, was battling cancer. And I believe, I just spoke to Jalea last night, and if I understood correctly, and I don't want to jinx anything, I believe that she said her mom found out she's beat the cancer and is cancer-free right now. So that's an amazing thing, and I think that's beautiful. So we have a lot of positive to share with that. As I said, there's a lot to talk about today. One of the bad things to talk about, and when I say bad, I'm only joking in terms of context of what we just shared, but bad in the sense that our football teams, boy, it's been a rough football weekend. So the PTT family high school football teams went 0-3 this weekend. So we didn't do so well there, but we'll rebound. But then personally, my son and I, and if you heard my bold prediction before the year started, the college football championship was going to be between Navy and Virginia Tech. Well, Virginia Tech had worked their way up to the number 13 team in the country before losing yesterday to Old Dominion, and I'm only laughing because it was they were such a big favorite. So they lost outright, and then Navy lost a heartbreaker in overtime to SMU. So we're 0-5 this weekend in terms of football games. So hopefully my kids' Eagles will turn around today and get us a win on the board for the weekend. A few things to still share with you. First, I want to just let you guys know where I'm coming from. I try to be as transparent as I can in all cases. I went ahead and shared with you all an email from somebody that certainly doesn't see me the way a lot of you see me. Certainly not the way I see myself, but I felt I owed it to present and offer another view. Okay, but what I want to make clear to you guys, as clearly as possible, is that I do wear my emotions on my sleeve, but I didn't let that email bother me. You guys have sent a lot of positive reinforcement emails, and I appreciate that. I love you for it, and it does make me feel good that you hear that. But you know, I don't want you to think that I'm walking around with a long face. That you know, I read what this person, male or female, said to me, and buying every bit of it. You know, maybe there's some truth in it. Certainly, there's truth, and that's how they feel. I don't dispute that. But as you guys and I know, we all see things a little bit differently. So I just don't want you to think you all out there to think that I am taking that email to heart and having it, you know, beat the living daylights out of me. And that's I'm not. There's a certain part of it that I think, like everything else, there's a certain part of it that there might be a little bit of truth in it. There's a certain part of it that is wrong, and I think there's a certain part of it that is so preposterous that it's almost, you know, there's part of it's that laughable. But I won't talk about it anymore. But the reason I'm saying that is, you know, I don't want you guys to feel obligated to kind of pick my spirits up in regards to that email anyway. Last night, there's a lot to talk about. I could probably do about 3 or 4 videos just on last night alone. So I'm going to try to process how I'm going to talk about the family I met last night, Nicole, Corey, Lily. But before I do that, I do want to touch on something. I know I did this live stream, and I know some people think I was half in the bag or something. I wasn't. The more I think about it, as I'm walking this morning, I don't know how you can convince me. Again, I know it's the unknown, right? Like a lot of things in life are unknown. It's what faith or belief is, what faith is, I guess. But there's no way someone can convince me that that wasn't a UFO. To see something, that big, one moment, and then minutes later be, that big, that quickly. I never saw anything like it in my life. So I mean, I'm not one to keep harping on it, but Tucumcari now will always be the time I really believe I saw a UFO. And it's funny how many people reached out to me going, no, I never told you. Some people very close to me, I never told you this, but I swear I saw one. Anyway, so that's part of last night. Before I touch base on, how and where and some of the observations of last night, I want to talk about something else. So just this morning alone, I got 2 really uplifting, really special emails or messages that meant the world to me, because it's great that people are following the journey and the travels, enjoying any of my videos if they find them to be educational, humorous at times, whatever. Maybe it's my voice puts them to sleep because I'm so damn boring. I don't know. However they're enjoying it is fine with me. But so I got there's a post on Facebook, you may have seen it, and it's from Kelly back in Pennsylvania, who is following me with her class, and it might be one of the most powerful messages I've got on the journey because of this reason, because the message is being heard and being applied. Both of these stories are on that note, and they both come from back home in the York area. So basically she had shared with me they were doing a lesson on, I guess let's say mental illness, but a question came up on what's one way to resolve conflict, and one of the kids in class, his answer was by pointing a thumb. So she shared that with me, and again, there's no downside to pointing a thumb if we all do it in every instance, and it might be as simple as just letting someone talk so we can hear their perspective. We're going to be a better place for it. So to hear that a young person in a classroom where a lot of kids sometimes tune out heard the message and answered it as a question on a test, I was really happy to hear that. I don't know if it's the right answer by the curriculum, but I hope you at least get some credit for it, or she gets credit for it. So I was really special to read that. The second one was also from somebody back home who's been a huge supporter. I've never met her, but a huge supporter of the journey. Her whole family has been, brothers, sisters-in-laws, nieces, just been a huge supporter. And she was sharing a story with me. I don't have all the details because I need to go look back on my phone, but essentially, I want to say a relative of hers has a barbershop not far from where I departed, and he had some of my cards there, and he doesn't follow as religiously as she does. I guess she wanted to talk to him, and maybe it might be a cousin, I think, or something like that. Anyway, the story that she shared with me rather simply, something that's all too common in our country. I guess his mom had passed away, and there had been a separation, a distance in between him and a sister. And through her death, he looked in the mirror and wanted to try to extend an olive branch and reconcile their relationship. So he shared that with her, and shared it with Teresa. And Teresa just looked at him and said, do you realize what you're doing? You're pointing a thumb and trying to make this right. And, I don't know if that's what prompted him or whatever, but just the fact that that's kind of how we're looking at things now, and sharing that, and that if we all just point the thumb, I promise you we're going to be a lot better off in a better world for it. So, this is my kumbaya moment of sharing a couple of really good stories with you that were uplifting. Now last night, I didn't post the pictures yet. I got to post the pictures. Last night I got an email yesterday from a young lady that said, hey, come on over here for dinner tonight. We'd love to have you meet the family. And I said, thank you, it'd be great. And then on the way there, she said, hey, you're welcome if you don't have a place to crash here tonight. And, sometimes I have to choose my words carefully on here, out of respect for a lot of people. This is one of those situations where I could talk for an hour about it, but I would be sharing too much, frankly, of someone else's life or some other people's lives. But the book will give a lot more insight to what I'm going to share with you. So I try to take a couple of bullet points to talk about. Anyway, one of the really special things that Nicole is doing is in town here. Her mantra is to spread kindness. Now, to know her background is to, for most people, have your jaw drop and say, wow. So, for anybody to have been through a lot of what she has been through, whether it was self-inflicted, unwarranted, whatever the reason is, the simple fact is she's been through just a whole hell of a lot. And for her to be where she is at her stage in life with a positive mental attitude and wanting to spread kindness was something strengthening. And one of the things she's doing is she's trying in town, she got the approval to kind of create this kindness wall. I think it's a great concept. Other places have done it. You know, I think somebody was telling me they participate here. I think Lisa back in York had told me there's these kind of rock finding things where people paint, you know, messages and kind of it's like a scavenger hunt for these rocks and messages. And I don't know if that's what gave her the idea. I know when I was up in Cape Cod area a couple years ago, Jamie and I went down by the beach and it was this thing of rocks with little messages written on them, and it was just really kind of inspirational. Well, she's kind of trying to do the same thing here in Tucumcari, where she's going to get this wall of positive stories like I'm trying to do, you know, messages, make people think, but have the community sharing it. When people are involved and empowered, it's really powerful and strong. So I give her a lot of credit for that. Little Lilith is a sweetheart of a young lady, little girl. Corey is her fiance, a little bit younger, great guy, straight-laced, talented artist. It was really wonderful to share. We talked last night. First of all, I haven't been in a family's home since the middle of Chelsea, Oklahoma, best I could tell. So it's been a couple of weeks. So just to be able to share that interaction was great. But we sat there as strangers to start the night, and we probably talked till about 12:30 in the morning. And at times I admit I was kind of nodding off in the middle of it. I was just tired, but about a whole range of things and really deep stuff. And you know, the thing that was hard for me is sometimes you meet people, sometimes I meet people, I can't talk for anybody else, sometimes I meet people and you see a situation and you want to just put your arms around somebody and say, hey, you know, I wish I could take all that pain away from you. I wish I could take that past away from you. And I understand, as Nick said, that you know, that's what made her who she is today, and that's a great way to look at it. But when you hear suffering, when you still see suffering, it's a hard thing, but it also gives you perspective. All of us should thank ourselves for what we do have, not for what we don't, not for what we want. You know, talk about physical abuse, mental abuse, addictions, legal system in terms of custodies and things like that. There were some things that were really surreal. Some things I wish, I don't want to say I wish I didn't know or didn't see, but like I said, it was one of those nights that conflicted me quite a bit this morning, because there's so much positive, and yet there's still some things there that you know, I worry for people, and you know, the ones I come to care about, I worry a great deal about. So there's still some things there that I are red flags for me, and I'm concerned about for them. But again, it's not my place to go share everything. I think the message I want to get across is that I thank them for extending their family to me, for being so open and honest with me, for letting me be so open and honest with them, for supporting my message, and just for being able to have such a positive outlook after having to endure a whole lot, you know. And I'm running out of time, so I love you, Kira. I love you, Grace. Love you, Landon. Kira, I'm sorry your horse show was rained out today. Love you guys. This is my morning. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later on, okay? Go Eagles. Bye-bye.